Hi, I'm Joe Finsternis, and first of all, I'd like to apologize for how terribly I did that Postal review last week. I mean, when you're talking about what makes a comedy bad, and you explain some of the bad jokes and why they didn't work, that's pretty much all part of movie critiquing, but when you're actually going to sit there and explain the good jokes that actually made you laugh, I mean, that was just really the biggest cop-out, and I don't know what I was thinking. That movie probably did make me dumber. Anyway, tonight I'm here to talk to you about another comedy which I went into with low expectations, and that is A Million Ways to Die in the West. So this movie has been getting a lot of negative reviews. The last time I looked at Rotten Tomatoes, I think the percentage on it was like 33 or something. So, my friends called me and said that they were going to go see it. I figured I'd do it just to kind of get out of the house, and I ended up actually enjoying it quite a bit, so I clearly don't always agree with critics. I mean, the movie does have its flaws, which I'll get into in a little bit, but for the most part, it was a really fun movie. I ended up laughing way more than I expected, and don't get me wrong, I am a fan of some of Seth MacFarlane's material. I think American Dad is a pretty decent show, and of course, the earlier seasons of Family Guy were really funny, but after a while, I thought that show just started to lose its edge. They were making so many weird changes to it, like when the evil monkey turned good and when the perverted old guy, I think his name was Herb, he turned into a hero all of a sudden. And I mean, if you're going to try something different, it's a good thing to sort of keep things from getting stale and break the monotony, but if it's not funny, then why are you doing it in the first place? But, I also really like Ted from 2012. I even named it as like one of my top 10 favorites of that year, so I went into this with low expectations still, since, most people didn't seem to like it very well, and I was pleasantly surprised. It does kind of hit you over the head with the message of how much the West sucks. Seth MacFarlane's little monologues do get a little annoying at times, but it never really reaches the point where it ruins the movie as a whole. And he does have some really funny scenes in it. Even Sarah Silverman, whose comedy I'm not really a big fan of, she got a few laughs from me. Neil Patrick Harris was awesome as usual. I thought he was probably the funniest character in the movie. He played off being that narcissistic, self-important douchebag pretty well. Liam Neeson was badass as usual. His character wasn't really funny, though. In fact, that was another thing that I didn't really like about the movie. When he first appeared, during a scene where he was asking this gold prospector for directions, there was really no comedy in the scene whatsoever, and it felt really dark, which would have worked in like a straight Western movie, I guess, but if you're trying to make, a silly juvenile comedy with poop jokes and sex jokes and stuff, why do you need to insert some unnecessary drama in there? But whatever. Like I said, a lot of the stuff in the film works. There are some jokes that fell flat for me. One thing that people have talked about quite a bit is the whole celebrity cameo thing. I have heard people mention that there was one particular cameo which was apparently in one of the trailers, and it got spoiled for a lot of people, but I only watched the first Red Band trailer when it came out, so I didn't see any of them coming. There were a couple of cameos that really worked in the film, and I'm not going to give this one away because, again, it's really stupid to just sit there and talk to you guys about the good jokes, but the one that made me laugh the most was when a certain historical figure appeared during a flashback scene. The actor they chose for that part was just so inappropriate. I was just laughing my ass off, you know. And there were also a couple of cameos that I thought were just downright pointless. There's this one guy who appears in a scene where all he does is like shrug and he gets shot down. I mean, it's literally as if he just found his way on set one day and asked for a part, and Seth MacFarlane was like, okay, we'll shoot you. It's kind of like when Kirsten Dunst appeared in Anchorman 2, which, yeah, does anyone even remember seeing her the first time they watched that movie? Anyway, and then there was another cameo, like, right at the end, right before the credits, which I thought was just stupid, and the scene itself was pointless. It was like something that should have ended up on the cutting room floor and ended up in the deleted scenes for the DVD, which I would have never watched. But I mean, I guess they were trying to do some kind of sequel hook there, which it was really not the right way to do a sequel hook in a movie. But like I said, I did enjoy the movie for the most part. I mean, don't get it twisted. I did like the movie, surprisingly enough. In fact, I think this is going to become one of those guilty pleasure comedies for me, just like Little Nicky or something like that. I'm seriously considering buying it when it comes out, although I don't really know for sure if I will, because there have been certain movies that I've seen in the past which I've walked out of, you know, thinking I'm going to buy that on Blu-ray, and then when it actually came out, I ended up not getting it because I decided I just didn't like it. So, as of right now, I am saying I did enjoy the movie. If you're into juvenile fart jokes and sex jokes and stuff like that, you're probably going to like it as well. It'll definitely appeal to your demographic. So I guess that's pretty much all I have to say about A Million Ways to Die in the West. I hope you all have a good one.